Excuse me. And douse the eyes a little bit there. Woof. Get the grease out, you might say. uh, I feel a little better now. How we doing? Welcome to today's live. I'm 420 Jim, cannabis advocate, yada yada yada. I'm mostly on Facebook, but now I'm starting YouTube this year, my last year, and I'm showing off all my little puppies. I got 8 of these little guys and gals. Yeah, 5 boys and 3 girls. Huh, aren't we pretty? Yeah, you're one of the boys. I thought so. I thought so. You look like the father, but he's white and you're black. But other than that, you look like the father. Yeah, you do. Hey, how you doing there, Dozer? How you doing? I'm sitting here torturing my puppies as usual. I just got out from underneath the RV. I've got the transmission up on 2 ends now, supported at 2 ends. So if I keep at it the way I'm going, within 2 hours, I'll have the transmission bolted back in. Then I got to do the linkage, transmission lines, that crap, and the emergency brake and drive shaft. Other than that, everything's going great. I got a real late start. It rained this morning at 4 a.m. and I kept waiting and waiting for the sun to come out. It wouldn't come out, wouldn't come out, wouldn't come out. Hey, Frankie. Finally, it come out a little bit right before I run out of generator gas. So it had dried the ground just a little bit. I went out and I drained 2 gallons of gas back out of the RV. Of course, I put 8 in the other day, so 2 out won't hurt it. And got the generator back running, and then I went underneath and got it jacked up. No, I'm at least 200 if I'm 100, man. You're off by a couple of years, but that's okay. We forgive the young, the naive, the dumb, the stupid, take your pick, whatever. Hey, but would it be bad if I was 100? You see the Cannebago that I drive? Yeah, the Cannebago. If I was 100, I'm putting a transmission at 400, which is one of the biggest automatics in a car or truck, smaller truck. In and out by myself. Not bad for 100, huh? But if you feel you must know, it's 66. And for all the bullshit and hell I put my life through growing up, I think I'm doing pretty good at 66, knock on wood. I know people that don't have half the health I do, and shit, they live straight, narrow lives compared to some of the shit I did in mine. So, well, thank you. Thank you. It's all about good vibes. Thank you. Oh, did you? Well, I've known ever since they made aluminum cans that they've got a plastic lining inside them. Yeah, I've known that since they started making them. But thank you. Um, I quit 40 years of smoking straight cigarettes with all them chemicals they add into them. So I don't think that little bit of plastic on the cans is going to harm me that much. If it does, oh well. I appreciate the concern though, I really do, but that's my preferred method. Oh, thank you. And no, I don't screw the haters. I forgive and I love the haters just like I do the supporters. You know why? Because there's two missions in my life. One is change our cannabis laws. Nobody belongs in jail for weed. We need our federal rights back to carry firearms and stuff. But my second mission is to remind people everybody needs a little Jesus. And I love hiding or handing these out everywhere I go. Hey, yeah, well, what am I telling you? Absolutely. To get forgiveness, you must give forgiveness. You're absolutely right. You have no right to ask for forgiveness if you can't give it. You know what I mean? Here's a person that paid a blood sacrifice. A blood sacrifice. So my wrongdoing could be forgiven. And I respect that. Here's the Cannebago, by the way. If you don't think people belong in jail for weed, you need to screenshot that. Forget, can't we all just get a bong? Or you can go to my website, 420gym.com. Last year, this had 30,000 signatures on it. It's just now starting to get some on it because I did a new paint job. But I'm putting transmission seals in right now. With any luck, today or tomorrow, that'll be wrapped up. I really don't want to do it tomorrow. I may. I'll just take Sunday as Sabbath instead of Saturday, but Saturday's my Sabbath normally. I love where somebody wrote, loves you behind the Jesus saves. I love it when people make a donation, have me put a Bible verse or something on it. There's that petition again. You can find me on Facebook. Look up my legal name, 420 Jim, FOURTWENTYJIM. Sun's coming out. All that's clearing off. I hope that's not coming this way. If it stays cleared off, we'll be all right. And I'll get this transmission stab back in and the drive shaft back in. And if that happens, I should be mobile again. Good Lord willing, and I put the seals in right, that is. Oh, Oregon, right on. My petition is federal. So no matter where a person is, anywhere in the United States of America, anywhere, you need to be on that petition. Nobody belongs in jail for weed. You know that. I know that. If they're in there for a weed charge, dismiss all weed charges. To be fair to American public and all the families that ruined it all over the years, they should destroy everybody's marijuana record that ever had one. I mean, come on, we all know it's a lie. People's lives got ruined over that bullshit. And they're still trying to ruin people's lives over the bullshit. So, hey, pup. Oh, a little girl come to visit. One of the little girls come to visit. One of the little girls come to visit. You look like a Star Wars critter. She looks like she belongs on Star Wars. Well, none of them are good for you. And we should not be smoking cannabis. And I'm just telling the truth. We're not meant to inhale that smoke into our lungs and stuff, but we do. And tobacco, and you know, for them to tell us we can't, they shouldn't be able to. But the thing about cannabis is, it's got a force field around it. They lie at the beginning and tell you it's THC when it's not. It is not THC. When it comes right off that plant and groomed and packaged and sold and whatever, it is not THC. I beg to differ. It is, man, I'm laying down there in ticks and I feel like I got them clawing on me. It's actually called THCA because that cannabis plant has a force field around that bud. And that's true. And how you break that force field is with heat. And once heat is implied, the euphoria goes up, the medical value goes down. That's how cannabis works. You can go eat that bud all you want, and you're not really going to get high off of it at all. But you take that same bud and heat it up to 220 degrees for 30 minutes, oh, you're going to get nice and high off of it then. Just because you broke that force field. And that's why some edibles are better than others. You can actually cook away a lot of the THC if you overheat it. There's kind of a little bit of a science to, well, thank you, my bro. Thank you. There's kind of a science to making the right and the best and most potent edibles. I know a guy named Robert. I haven't heard from him in a long time. I think he's still on my friends list in Facebook. Man, I've pretty much given up on edibles. Dispensaries, peoples, everything. They just weren't like back in the old day, you know? And we was out at Awesome Possum at this time. And he says, oh, bullshit, you know, la-da-da. He says, I tell you what, you know, bring me a bud up, and I'll make an edible out of that bud, and tell me if you like it or not. He says, all I ask is, you know, a big enough bud that I can make 2 cookies, one for him, one for me. And I'm like, no problem. And I took him a little bud up there later on, and I don't know, that evening or whatever, he come by and had a nice little peanut butter cookie or whatever it was, and man, that tore me up. It was good. I couldn't believe it was made from the same weed that we had out there for months, you know? Because usually after smoking the same weed, you don't even get that stoned off of it. Man, I got tore up off of it. But he knew the science. And, you know, he had a little toaster oven, I think. And, yeah, he made individual cookies. He literally made 2 cookies, you know? Kind of like a stoner gump, I guess. But it did. It was great. We do have chances of thunderstorms today and stuff. It just went cloudy again. I wish the sun would come out and stay out. Well, I like the dabs. It cuts out a lot of the plant material and everything. But I want to grow my own, process my own. You know, that's my next step. Get off the damn road. This is my last year. If I can't get everybody to see they're part of the problem and not part of the solution because they don't sign this petition, I never will. You know, even after 10 years, I didn't give up. One last year, I'm pushing. Which reminds me, anybody that sees this, if you haven't signed the petition, it's easy. Anybody can sign it. There's a link in the description of this video on YouTube. Or you go to 420jim.com. Hell, if you just Google 420 Jim, the petition will pop right up under a Google search. No. Here's what's amazing. I'll show you what's amazing. Of course, this is old news now. But, you know, back in 2019, on July 8th of 2019, this judge's order, that judge's order in Tennessee, it changed a lot of documents in my life. You know what kind of documents it changed in my life? Birth certificate, driver's license, social security card, just all of them. Oh, my lens is dirty. Something on the lens. They all say 420 Jim now. First 20, last name Jim. Pretty cool. What do you mean, how? Oh, you can legally change your name. You make a order to the court asking the judge for it. I went in front of the judge and literally asked him if he could make my first name. My first name used to be Jim. That's why when people call me Jim now, I kind of ignore them. I changed my first name. It's not Jim. It's Four. But anyhow, he said, yeah, he says, when I asked him, can you make my first name my last name? He says, yeah, I can do that. I'm a probate. I've got the power to do that, but you've got to have a first name. And I said, how about Four? And he says, okay, hey, Mr. Will. He said, would you like to have a middle name? And I immediately said, how about 20? And he said, you want 20 as your middle name? And I said, yes, sir. And he said, you want Jim as your last name? Hey, Ray. And I said, yes, sir. And he picked up his phone and tapped the little stand a couple times and said, so ordered. And you even heard the clerk of court kind of, you know, it was cool. Hell, when I kicked that trooper's butt in Kingston, Tennessee, same courthouse, different judge. But when I kicked Woody's butt in court, that was good, you know, because the picture in the newspaper On the front of the paper was a picture of the what was called the cannabis then, but it was this. Imagine the picture of this right on the front and a 3-word title, "To be blunt." I'm surprised it didn't say, that I kicked this trooper's butt, but the title was "To be blunt." And when you open and read the article on the inside from the front page, you see a picture of me, and you see my back of my shirt that's got the pot leaf that I paint, and me giving the judge and everybody the peace sign as I'm leaving the courtroom. You see the people still sitting in the pews and stuff like that. So the news guy was actually in the courtroom during the trial, or whatever you want to call it. Just like the one lawyer come up and said, "Man, if they give you any more trouble, I'll represent you for free. I like your style." That was pretty cool. Almost, Ray. Almost. Man, I'm working on it. I didn't get a start until an hour ago. It rained at 4 o'clock this morning. I've been up since about 4. It started raining, and after that, I just couldn't get back to sleep. I'm like, damn, But I started to work on it about an hour ago. And I'm this close. You see it there? It's just right there. So I'm that close. It needs to go into the engine 4 inches. It needs to come up about 8 inches, and it'll probably bolt right together. But I straightened out. I put the torque converter back in when it come out. Yesterday when it come down, I put the torque converter back in it, and I re-leveled it at 2 ends on the blocks now. Well, actually, the blocks are housing is set in on the cross member. It can't go nowhere sitting there. So I ran out of time. I came in to do this live. But unless it rains, knock on wood, and it's a 50-50 shot here, we have a little sun. Oh, looks like I lost Joe for a minute. Weather permitting, I'll get this done. Look, sun just come back out. Pups are down here chewing on each other. It ain't gonna be long. One of them will start crying, yelling, or getting mad. They're getting teeth. I mean, they're starting to hurt when they bite on your fingers. Well, oh, he was just croaking a couple of minutes ago. Yeah, not very long ago, after the rain cleared up. When the sun come out, oh, I don't know, about 15 minutes after the sun come out, I heard him once or twice. Yeah, if I was a young man right now, I'd have that transmission on my stomach. I'd squeeze underneath of it and get underneath it with my stomach, and I'd push it up there, arch my back, push it up there and stab it. But I ain't young like that no more. Oh, you just heard him. Well, you had to talk about him. He sounded pretty close. I thought maybe he walked down here to say good morning, Frankie. Sorry about that. I guess I'm getting bad internet. Yeah, it would be absolutely wonderful if I got a hand. But that hasn't happened, just like when I put the engine in. So, you know, and I said on here a couple of times I'd give $100 for somebody to come do it. $100 or. Sorry, I guess with these storms around, it's going to go in and out like that. But as long as nothing goes wrong, I think I can have stabbed within the hour. Um, you know, um, knock on wood, so far it's going pretty good. I've only spent 30 minutes underneath there and corrected everything to where I was at yesterday when it dropped down. Except now it's braced in the front and the back, as to where yesterday it was just braced in the center. It could tip forward, it could tip back. You had to kind of balance it while you're jacking it. No, no, I got the kink that I made yesterday. I got the kink straightened out, and then I ran out of time before noon here. I wanted to go live, get me a piece of sandwich after my live and stuff, and then I'll go down there if it don't rain again and button it up. But weather's terrible this morning. It wasn't sunny and bright like thought it was going to be. Like now, the sun just came back out again. It's nice, it's bright, it's hot, it's warm, but then all of a sudden it'll go away. A little rain shower come through. The jack don't go high enough for what? No, I mean, you just put a block of wood on top of the jack, 4x4 or whatever. A couple 4x4s. I mean, yeah. You can always raise, but you can only raise 8 inches at a time, maybe. Raise and block, raise and block, raise and block. Man, I've raised and blocked so many vehicles in my life. Ah! There's your chicken, Frankie. Doggone, you can almost watch these puppies grow. I swear I wake up, they're bigger. Oh yeah. That's why I said yesterday, there's a million blocks on this property. I just had to go out and grab a dozen or so, to do it right. This way, I've got a platform on both ends, and I have a jack. So I can put the jack in the center, and I get both ends up about where I need it. Okay, and then I build the one in the center on the jack up and jack it up just a hair off of the other two and slide it forward. up close flywheel, and then just, stab it in. You can push it forward that half inch or whatever. Pay anyone anywhere. Why would I pay anyone anywhere? I owe one person $50, but I told them to send me the request for it. It won't let me just go send it to them. I don't know the zip code of my damn card. Oh, heck, back in the day, if it was high enough, I would, lay with my knees into my stomach and lay the transmission on my shins here, I guess you call them the shins there in the front of your legs. And I just, like a scissor jack with my legs, push it up. If it's low enough to the ground that you couldn't put your feet underneath there first, you just lift it up with your stomach. But I've many a time rolled underneath the car and let her take a transmission and drag it up on my stomach and push it up into the vehicle. No, because I really don't want to do any mechanic work and jacking work and stuff. I mean, if I have to, fine, and this is going to work if I have to do something like that. This won't work to change a tire. Nah, this jack won't work to change one of my tires. But that's where AAA comes in. You know what I'm doing? Well, you roll it on your chest, walk it on your chest, wrestle it on your chest. You just get that sucker up on your chest. And if you got enough transmission fluid on your shirt and your body, it's going to slide. A big one wouldn't lift my front, my whole back. Next truck, yeah. I'll catch Facebook, and not back here in Look, and not back here at 10 p.m. Good Lord willing, and the internet still works. Cannabis for all, one team, one dream, united we stand. If we try, we can all get along. My dogs love you, I love you, Jesus loves you. Peace. All right.